And welcome to this first evening live stream of this new Sunday game we like to call Varinheim. If y'all checked us out on YouTube, we've got the first 4 sessions up there on the channel. And before we get started, I would just like to do a quick shout out to our sponsor, D&D Beyond, a online digital tool set for DMs and players alike that can keep track of their gear, their spells, their hit points, and for you DMs, occasionally keeping track of those monsters that you throw at your players. Go check it out. It's D&D Beyond. Go check it out. And before we get started, I want to also do a quick recap. Last session, the players finally solved the murder to Eisen Newman, a towns guard in the town of Creighton. She was murdered by Babao, that was summoned by Kilveth, the lawmaster of the town, in an attempt to prevent Rhea Ravenwood from taking her position. Kind of find out, though, our very own Fida, part of the party, was also responsible by making the ritual circle. forced by her patron, Shiva. At the end of the session, though, once the players had solved the murder and things were tidied up quite nice, Vita ran into a strange person, red skinned, with smooth, short black hair, with horns that went up and straight back on his head, with a tail, dressed quite nicely. And as he left the grotto, he said just a simple thing to Vita that caught her attention, and it was only her name. Let's begin. All right, so you guys, hello. You guys, if I'm not mistaken, just arrived at the grotto. Fida, strange individual, just walked by you, essentially just said, "Excuse me, Fida, acknowledge you by name. You never met this person." And as he basically kind of like turned and went right of the tavern, just poof, instantly vanished. And this
Brent?
is where we're picking up.
Brent?
Like he just completely vanished, didn't just like walk off and like disappear into like shadows or anything. Just like poof, gone.
Like he just basically went right out the door, turned right, took a few steps, and then just puff of smoke.
That was odd.
Oh, who's that?
You tell me, and I have no idea. I've never seen him before.
Vida, your name.
Indeed. I have no idea who that is.
Oh. Be you. Nice smell.
Well, let's get inside. It's been a long day.
I would say, like, as you guys are getting into the tavern, because if I'm not mistaken, y'all were arriving by about 10, 11 p.m. or so.
Midnight.
Yeah. Or, yeah, 10 p.m. in the evening, close to midnight, somewhere in that time frame. The barkeep, Durvath, is just attending to the customers, patrons inside. Some are singing, some are drinking, others are eating. There's actually one off in the corner that's passed out in his ale. It's, I would say, a rather lively evening for the most part. Some music being played. As y'all are entering, Durvath is just looking at y'all as y'all come in. He's just like, "Oh, out of curiosity, have y'all had any more adventures for the evening?"
Oh, priest. Cricket runs up to the bar, does some bows. Oh, priest. Many adventures.
He's just gonna turn and look at Emerald and Fida and just say, "What have y'all done?"
Is she staying out from behind it?
I
Then what harm is this?
just I don't know.
Oh, Durvath.
Who is
Many-
that gentleman who just left? Red skin, dark hair?
Oh, yeah.
Who was that?
Actually, a new patron. He's actually been sitting here for a couple of hours. You're just sitting off in the corner. He points off to the left-hand side of the tavern. So been sitting there for 2-3 hours at most, just drinking a little bit of ale here and there. If I'm not mistaken, he said his name was Tobor.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. Did he say anything else while he was here?
No, not that I'm aware of. He said he was just waiting on somebody. No one actually ever came up to sit with him or talk. As soon as y'all were entering, he was exiting.
Curious. Well, thank you. Might we have a bite to eat? Like, is there any dinner left or anything?
I can get y'all something rather quick. I'll be right back. And he just kind of quickly goes off to the kitchen. Y'all can actually hear the clanging of like plates and cups and everything. He's like gathering stuff. The barmaids and everything are tending to other patrons, and as he's coming out, he's got quite a few plates. He's actually carrying 5 altogether for you guys. Each one's got a slab of meat on it, a bread roll, and then what appears to be mashed potatoes, essentially. Mashed potatoes on the plate itself. He just kind of sets each one down for you guys. He's like, I'll get a couple more plates. I'll be right back, as he goes to get more to make sure everyone's got something to eat. Thanathel will just go instantly look at it and just, no eggs. And just instantly go carving into the mashed potatoes and taking a bite of the roll. Garrick will join him.
Oh, Thanathel. In spring, I provide egg. Pretty big.
Yeah, yes. Not for eating though. Not yours.
I give permission.
You give.
It's okay.
That's rather interesting. Garrick is just kind of like listening in on this conversation. He's like, that's not something you hear every day. Just saying. As he turns to Saphira.
It's bad? I do bad?
No, not bad at all. But he's just not bad at all. And a few minutes later, by the way, Durvath brings forth the remaining 2 plates, one for Emerald and the other one for Saphira. He's like, I hope y'all enjoy this. It's relatively fresh. So, if y'all need anything else, let me know. He just kind of gives a little bit of a slight bow and heads back to the barkeep or bar table to tend to the patrons I was sitting there. Thanathel and Garrick, after eating for a little bit, they just kind of go, so what are we doing in the morning? Are we just going to go speak with Advisor Mudrick and then also go see a Reven Ravenwood?
I'm gonna try and catch Rhea first thing in the morning, but other than that, no plans.
I'm not mistaken, we don't actually need to speak with Advisor Mudrick. But I would like to inquire with him about their town wizard, Stormspell. Apparently, he's an Isatol.
I think we should speak with Mudrick. I mean, he was the one who's supposed to be paying us for this.
There's that. Can't really leave without getting paid. So, if I am not mistaken, we can get up early, go speak to a Ravenwood, and then hop, skip, and jump all over to Advisor Mudrick and go from there.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan?
With money? The gold?
Yes. Cricket, money. Gold. He just holds up a gold piece. Alrighty then. And he just kind of finishes playing up a little bit and kind of... He's like, I hope you all don't mind. I am going to turn in early. And he just kind of heads off to his room. Garrick is eating slow. Taking a couple bites here and there. He's still kind of getting over the rough evening he's had. But anyway, so I take it you guys are just gonna essentially just eat and then go to bed and kind of pick up in the morning. All right.
Bath.
Before I head up, I'd like to check out the table the weird patron was sitting at to see if anything was left there.
Alrighty. So, as you guys kind of like get done eating and everything, Cricket, you said you want to go get a bath.
Mhm.
As like you kind of like get up, I would say that you like just go over to like Durvath and ask.
Cleanse. To you. I stink.
Durvath is just kind of busy dealing with a couple of patrons. He's just like, you want a bath? Well, considering the amount of times that y'all have stayed here, it's on the house. It's just right down the hallway there where the rooms are. Just go straight down. There's a door at the end. Just go straight through there, and there'll be a couple of stalls that you can use, one of which to get a hot bath in.
It's the house.
Yes.
On the house. On the house.
It's inside. Just, it's free. Don't worry about paying anything. Vita?
Yes,
He calls.
Brenda?
Can you show her where the baths are?
Certainly.
I appreciate it.
On the house.
Yes, that's an expression. You should remember that one. You should maybe make that one sometime. That one's a good one.
On the house.
Come with me, and I'll show you where you need to go.
Okay.
The table that the patron was sitting at there, Emerald, is empty. There's there's nothing left behind, not even a nail cup at this point. The barmaid has cleaned it. But there wasn't any sort of like note or anything that you would possibly be looking to look for. It was just where he was sitting.
That's quite alright.
Garrick is, after
Go ahead.
eating for a bit, he turns to you there, Saphira, and he's just like, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely turning in early this evening as well.
You've had a long day. You should get some rest.
That's an understatement, I would say. But I will go get a bath myself, and then I will turn in for the evening. And he just kind of gets up and goes to get a bath.
She'll head to the room.
You go to the room. All right. The baths are rather empty. There's no one in there besides you guys.
So I will show her into them where all the things are in them and leave her to it.
It's like, here you go. I'm not showing how it's done.
She's a grown bird. She does know how to take care of herself.
Mhm.
Bird's green.
Oh yeah.
She's
Mhm.
got this.
She's got this.
I take all my jewelry off. I have that all like for each figure and everything. I have it out. Make sure I also clean my clothing and get that scrub, make sure it's clean and stuff, and stitch. Yeah, there was cut. Very upset about it. Very upset. Need to clean off some of my paints. Especially my feathers. And she's poofing. She's making a mess because she does bathe like a bird. Shaking time. Shake, 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 shake. Shake and bake. Water everywhere. Soap everywhere. But when she's done bathing, she's going to, of course, dress her wounds again. And she's going to get out her paints. And if there's any mirrors, she will actually go back and paint patterns and designs back on her feathers. and put jewelry back on, clothing, and walk on out. Probably be in there for a bit.
I would say like midway through, Garrick is like actually finishing and like leaving, and he's just like, as he's like kind of like opening the door to like leave, he just kind of like calls out to he's like, Cricket, you're all right. Okay. Yeah, he just kind of like leaves upon hearing that. You go to his room.
Making all sorts of noises, singing, talking to herself. Beautiful wall. Water is good.
Garrett goes straight to his room, and after you said that you finish, you're gonna go as well. There, Cricket.
Yeah, once I'm fucking presented.
Alright. So you guys all kind of like go to your separate rooms and everything to kind of turn in for the evening. Is anyone doing anything during the evening, or is everyone just gonna go to sleep?
I will go to my room and stay in there and I'm going to spend some time reading the one book that my brother had given me.
Alrighty.
I'm actually going to want to find Vita's room.
Okay. All right. So, like, as like you just kind of like get out and leave the bath area, you go straight to Fita's room.
Don't I know where her room is?
I would naturally assume yes.
Okay.
You guys been staying here for what, 3 days at this point?
Sure. All right. This is knocking on some poor person's door.
Vita.
Go to the door and let her in. Yes, Cricket?
You're dirty still.
I took a bath earlier today.
You sure you missed a spot?
Oh yes, the spot that you threw on me. Your head. I will get some water just from a glass and on a cloth and wipe that off. What brings you here?
Today?
What happened today?
Agreed. Danger is afoot. We must be careful.
Oh, we must. You must heal.
Yes. Man, that was a rough one. But I'm okay.
You said something earlier. I've been thinking long about it now. About Shiva finding a balance.
Yes.
Do you know
Balance.
anything about a balance to it?
Lord Shiva?
Mm-hmm.
Can I recall any, I guess, more light creation-based gods or goddesses based off what I've read before?
Are you referring to
Let me look at the
other
list.
patrons on the Pantheon, correct?
Yes.
Is what you're referring?
My notes. Yeah, because you gave me a list of them, but what
I mean, considering your background and everything, you would be aware of multiple gods on the Pantheon. Freya.
Mm-hmm.
You would be aware of Aurora.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would also say you'd be aware of Solveig and Magnus.
Okay.
Those four directly.
Mm-hmm. What about spirits?
When it comes to spirits, you would definitely be aware of the two spirits, Sonaris. I'll spell that for you.
you.
S-I-N. Sinarius. Sonaris. Who's a spirit of Solveig's. He's kind of like the embodiment of the deepest desires of individuals that can go too far.
Mm.
And then the other spirit is Vitaris. Vitarius. And that is essentially the embodiment. That spirit is the embodiment of all the good things of individuals, the righteous, the virtuous things.
Mhm. Mm. I know Freya. Goddess. Life and sun.
I know very little of her.
But Freya no sleep? I don't know. Shiva did sleep. Why?
From what I get in all of this, she was trapped in a rock by something, like in that stone. And it was a
How?
stone. It was like this big, a stone, and
Why and how?
Mhm.
Don't know.
and why trapped and not destroyed?
Don't destroy. No destroy.
That she is destruction.
Need destruction. No destroy. Need. But balance. Maybe Shiva punished.
Maybe. It would make
Punished.
sense.
Maybe
But by
not
who?
sleep.
By what?
Freya? No. I don't know. Rival? Takeover. Greed. Status. Another god. Or
Punishment
challenge.
for doing something terrible. That does seem her nature. We need more information on her.
Maybe not all bad, but neat. Balance.
We need to understand more.
I agree. Library? Book? Scroll?
That's what I would like to go and find. I know there was a city, the head mage from this area, from Creighton here. He was over there wanting to work out some deals, so he was in the city that has a library. I think we should consider heading there next. Maybe we can get the information that we need there. We can get more than we can here. At least that's where I'd like to go.
Good idea.
May I ask you something? When we were in the forest, you said something interesting. Before you collapsed with or before you slid down your staff and were kneeling on the ground, you said something with Zan. What was that? If you don't mind me asking.
I mind.
Okay.
No worry.
curious about that man who was leaving the bar here. He disappeared. He walked around the corner and poof, like in flash smoke, gone.
Oh, Vida no friend.
I've never seen him before. I don't know him. He knows my name. Derval said his name was Tobor, or that's what he introduced himself as, but I've never seen him. I find it strange that he knows me. Very strange that he knows me.
Why? Very strange.
It's just not a name I go by very often. Vida is a bit of a nickname.
Maybe friend of friend?
I don't think so. It's just odd. I want to know more about who that is. Where he came from. How does he know me? Wonder if we'll see him again. We should watch for him. See if he shows up again. Can you help me
We'll
watch
watch. I will watch like hawk.
for him? Maybe
And
get some
then she
sleep
makes a
first.
hawk noise.
But yes, if you could help me keep an eye out for him, like watch to see if he shows up again. I'd like to know how he knows me. It's getting late. It's been a long day. We should probably get some sleep. Yes?
Good night.
Good night. Cricket.
As you guys kind of turn in for the evening, y'all are awakened to a early morning. Y'all can hear some of the barmaids kind of getting ready for this morning breakfast by bringing plates to everybody and kind of like putting them at each other's doors and doing a slight knock. I'd say it's around 7, if I'm not mistaken. Sophia, you still do the morning routine?
Yeah, she gets up, exercises.
All right. I would say that you're getting back about this time. If that's all right with you.
Okay.
All right.
Now that she
Garrick.
knows there's a bathhouse in the inn, she'll not stop at the river and instead go to the bathhouse.
It's like you're basically like getting done with the bathhouse, just like kind of like coming out and everything, and just like, oh, there's food at your door. Garrick is pretty quick to actually open his and kind of like grab his food. He's not wearing his full garb like he usually would to traverse through the woods. At this point, he's still carrying the rug of Sylphir and doesn't have Night Stalker with him. He just kind of like, as he's walking out grabbing his food, you're, I would say, kind of like coming to your room and everything. He just kind of like turns to you and just like, I've got at least another 8 hours before I can actually summon these two.
You said that it would take 8 hours to summon Night Stalker.
Would have. I did, and I'm just following up the last little bits. At this point, it's more just time. As, like, he says this, you can actually kind of begin to smell the faint aroma of a particular weed.
The
He's just like,
Medunal?
no, it's a, I would say it's more of a ferndune weed, Firdune, fern dune. Sorry, can't talk today. It's been long. It just looks at you like it's a weed for rituals. It'll be done here in a lot of us, and I can finish up the process.
Okay. Do you need any help with that?
Nope, it's a complete endeavor I have to do on my own. I'll be not going with y'all today when you'll go speak with Rhea and Mudrik. I'll be busy dealing with everything here. As he says this, you just see him kind of like go to the open part of the tavern to sit and eat. But to this point, Tanathil is joining him as well. I take it everyone else gets up whenever food's being delivered to their rooms.
Yes, indeed.
I might sleep in a bit more.
Gotta sleep in a bit more.
Yeah, probably for 30 more minutes.
What about you there, Fee? Did you say you were getting up?
Yeah, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna actually take my food and go and sit in the common area at a
All right.
table out there, and just with one of the journals or the book on Valdis I had picked up.
Yeah.
I just sit there and read while I'm eating.
I would say that the Book of Aldous that you actually have does mention eventually Morgana and Shiva. Mentions both as being daughters of hers. So this kind of gives you an indication that Shiva is not actually a god herself. She's more just a spirit.
Interesting.
Emerald, what are you doing?
I'm gonna scarf down my food in my room, and I'm gonna head out toward Reyes.
Without the group?
If anyone sees me go, they're welcome to join, but I figured this most likely would be a one-on-one conversation anyway.
Alrighty. So like as you're kind of like getting ready to leave the tavern, like Tanthos goes like I would say everyone would like that's actually at the table, which if I'm not mistaken be Fida, Garrick, Tanathil, and Saphira. Are you with them at this point?
Yeah, she's out eating in,
All right.
in the main.
I would say that they see you kind of like walking towards the door. Are you gonna say anything to them, or are you just gonna kind of go?
I'll be back in a little bit.
Emerald, before you go, are you going to go see Rhea?
Yes.
Can you take her something from me anonymously? Just don't mention that it was me.
Sure.
You mentioned that she wanted to travel.
She plans on leaving today, from what we were told.
I'm gonna pull out 10 gold and put it just in a small, a small napkin. Can you please give her this for for some of her expenses?
I can do that.
Emerald, you make your way towards Ria's.
Mm-hmm.
As like you kind of like leave the tavern, Garrett just kind of like turns back to his food and he's just like, I thought we were gonna be doing that together today's.
No need, really.
Hey. Well, if that's the case, what time do you guys want to go see Mudrik?
We'll
I'll be
wait
staying
till
here
everyone's
today.
back.
Well, alrighty then. Shouldn't take them too long then, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't that far up a walk from where y'all were
No.
telling earlier.
No,
It's
it
like
shouldn't.
15 minutes there.
And it was less than
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah. Which you get over there pretty easily there. Otter, no interruptions. No one kind of, I would say, stops you on your way. You just kind of like see the mundane usual of the morning crowd around the city. People carrying, pulling wagons and everything. Shops beginning to open up. Other people are kind of like heading to work and everything as well. As you arrive at Ria's place, the window that's at the front door, just off to its right, you can kind of see, and the lights are out.
Knock at the door.
You just hear as you knock on the door, and it's just a slight door opens up, and you just see a Rhea there. She's kind of already dressed, actually, and packed. You see a sack on her back, and she's like, I was kind of expecting to leave before y'all stopped by, if y'all were going to.
I figured you're an early riser.
Considering I was part of the town's guard, yes. I held many early morning shifts. What do I have what be your presence here for today?
I told you the next time you saw me, we would have a name of the killer for you.
And? You don't mind?
Surprisingly enough, the Lawmaster. Seems she valued her position over Isa's life and your own. Currently sitting in the jail as we speak.
Which cell?
Would I know that information?
Considering you guys actually left before you saw exactly where, I'd say no.
I saw her thrown into a cell and chained to a chair, but she couldn't have gone far.
So Isa's life was worth more than her position. Or worth less, is what I was meaning to say.
At least to her. Yes.
I thought about where I was going to go. I'll be completely honest. I initially thought I was going to go to Landcrest, but I think I'm going to head south first, towards Aston.
I hear
Yeah.
good things. Did you find my gift from when we last spoke?
I did. And I appreciate it.
The rest of us do want to wish you safe travel as well, and I'll hand her the 10 gold I was given.
Just kind of grabs it from me and just looks at it. I'll use it to go to Landcrest eventually. I'm just going to stay in Aston for a few days, and then I'll kind of slowly. I use it for my travels to Aston, then I'm going to use it to also go to Landcrest later. I'm going to be in Aston for a few days, and then I'll make the trek. The trek to Landcrest is about 3 weeks. So.
Be safe, and may your travels bring you some peace.
I'll get some peace here in a minute. And she just kind of like closes her door. She just kind of bows her head. And you see her kind of like turn off towards the Citadel. Or the Citadel, basically the town square where the grand feast was held when you guys first arrived in Creighton. And to the Creighton jail as well, in that general direction.
Sure. I've done what I want to do. I get back to the tavern and meet up with everyone else.
All right. As you kind of like get back, everyone's like, I would imagine already finished up with their food. Cricket, are you awake at this point?
Yeah. That's about 30 minutes.
Okay. So as Emerald's kind of like arriving, I would say like everyone's pretty much finishing up their breakfast at this point. And you guys see Emerald just kind of like coming in. It's been about hour at most.
Yeah. Bowed out at the bar when she passes. Gervais. Any praises towards you? Runs up to the table. Morning.
They're about
Where's
just
your
kind of like
food,
look.
Cricket?
Everyone
You
eat?
look better this morning.
Mm. She prays. Really?
Athel's just gonna go. Quite. You don't look as defeathered as you were yesterday.
Defeated. Almost. But not quite. I am the strongest around. I'm joking. Not really. You look grand. Everyone. Ria. Did she leave?
Had we waited until after breakfast, we would have never caught her. I managed to catch her as she left.
Hmm.
She's wanting to leave without being seen or talk to anyone. She probably just wants to be left alone for a little while.
I can
Her path.
understand that.
To
I
healing.
believe she's
Will
on
be
her way
long.
to get some things off her chest before she leaves town.
It will be a long path.
You said
There.
she was heading where and then to where?
She says she's going to head south to Aston first and then cut west to Limecrest.
Okay. Seems she's heading south for a while. Know some people that way. Your gift was well received, Fina.
Thank you for doing that.
Derek's going to kind of like pipe up a little bit. He's like, does she ever explain why she's going to Limecrest?
Not my business to where her travels take her.
Family's somewhere in one of those destinations. She'll need them.
Traveling can bring its own peace.
That it can. I can relate with that. Traveling does bring peace. As he says this, he just kind of like stands up. He's like, it's about that time though. I need to actually go back to my room. Finish something up to bring back an old friend. Yeah, you just see him kind of walk off back to his room. Athel just kind of goes, well, if Emerald's back, we could make our way towards advising Mudrick and get paid and figure out where we're going from here.
Everyone is ready.
I'll say why not.
That works.
Athel just kind of like stands up with the staff, clutching his staff, and he's like, alrighty, well, who wants to
Wait. I can't leave. Searching for man. Pale, black hair, black clothing, black hat, red feather.
You're looking for someone?
What?
Man. Pale skin, black hair, black hat, red feather, small girl.
Garrick. we
Eric's already left
passed-
to the room.
Hold on, Cricket. She's gonna go poke her head into the room.
As like you kind of like poking your head into the room, you just see Kara kind of like praying over this ash pile that's continually still burning with that faint aroma from earlier, the fern doom weed that he had talked about earlier.
She'll see that he's already started and just quietly close the door. Come back over to the table. Cricket, I think I saw someone of that description the other day.
Really?
It was on the way to the Great Hall. There was a building. Not on the way to the Great Hall. On the way to the armor. Is the building that they passed on the way to Mudrix, or is it out of the way?
That is actually a good question. If I'm not mistaken, it's kind of a roundabout way there. Like you can actually just kind of like go there and then come back and then cut across.
I can take you there on the way to Mudrix.
Yes. Yes. Cricket kind of just gets quiet and just zones out and starts thinking.
Just kind of.
I'm trying to find my notes. That one-on-one, I can't find them. Hold on. That's why I'm like...
Yeah, they'll just. Are you sure it's the same man that she's looking for? That's not a very big. That's not a descriptive at all.
I saw a man with that clothing carrying a girl, dropped her off at a place.
Amelia.
Stuck out fairly well.
All right.
I have to find. I have to. Can't leave. No.
Maybe we should go and take a look at where this girl was dropped off.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible.
Like, what's the worst that happens? Go and take a look.
There's nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, if we can be, like, I ain't against it at all.
Come, Cricket, I'll show you.
I guess Safari, you show us where it's at. Stalker. Sorry. My bad. My bad. Stalker, if you want to lead us there, you can. I mean, all for it.
She's gonna leave the sack of equipment with Eric, since the sack's already in the room, so
Okay.
she's just gonna leave it there and not bother him.
Alrighty. As you just kind of like leave the sack and everything, Garrick is kind of like finishing up the prayer and everything. You just kind of like see the ash heap kind of like beginning to glow a little bit. And he's like, I'm still going to be a little while, but you can go.
We'll be back later. And she will lead them towards the building that they passed on the way to what was the armor store? Derek's Components.
Derek's Components was the wizard shop. It's Corlac.
Arms.
Corlac's Arms.
Place.
So as you kind of like begin making your way in that general direction, you come across the rather large stone building with a fence off to the left. You remember from earlier. You see a bunch of kids kind of like playing and just beyond that fence. One of which quickly stands out, having burns kind of like covering parts of her body. You can see that she's playful, but she's got scars from these burns. You see a lady there that you remember from earlier, the gentleman that was kind of handing off this child to her, just kind of like talking to the kids and kind of like keeping them kind of uh under control, even though they're all over the place, just kind of like playing. As you guys get there, Cricket, I would say that you instantly notice this kid.
Yep, I go forward.
Just
go-
right over the fence.
Yep, I just vault over.
Like as you kind of like vault over the fence, I would say like the lady that's just like kind of like dealing with the kids, just like instantly like just taken aback, just looks at you, just like,
Amelia!
ma'am, or
Amelia!
bird, stop. And
Amelia!
just like kind of like walks up to you to like kind of like grab you. And she's like,
Amelia!
who?
She's just looking at that girl. Amelia.
She just kind of like is like kind of like trying to grab onto you. Just kind of like explain, if you don't mind, ma'am. You can't just jump a fence. My name is Luna. This is my orphanage. What exactly are you? What's going on?
Amelia! Points at the girl.
The girl that she is pointing at to you guys is no more than 3 feet tall. She has black hair. Scars are kind of like coming down the left-hand side of her neck, and you see on the right arm of hers is also burned and kind of like wrapped around. She has a single freckle like underneath her right eye, and she's just wearing old drab clothing that's just made out of rags, essentially at this point.
Cricket.
And she's like, I don't know who Amelia is. We don't have anyone by that name.
Is a girl looking at me?
The kids are kind of like taken aback and are just like on the far end, just staring at you.
I'm going to take off the wraps and kind of show my healing burned hands. Amelia. Goes my bag. Pulls out that burnt doll.
Like at first, the girl that you were kind of like pointing to, I wasn't able to kind of like hear what you were saying. They were just kind of like taken aback that you just like instantly just jumped over this fence, and she just kind of like stepped forward and just started kind of like slowly walking towards Cricket upon hearing this.
And she's going to use her mother's voice. Find my baby girl.
Just kind of gets wide and then just like kind of like automatically just runs over to Luna and just kind of like begins like kind of like pulling on her a little bit and just kind of like pointing towards Cricket. And she just kind of like looks at you. Luna just goes, "You know this girl? Her name's Amelia?"
I don't know. Never met.
I'll be honest, this is actually the first time that we've actually gotten her name. She's unable to speak because of the burns on her neck.
Oh no. Amelia.
upon hearing this, like the child's just kind of like shaking her head, just yes. Like she doesn't say anything. Like you can tell, like she opens her mouth and nothing comes out. If you don't mind me asking, and Luna just is kind of like pushing the kid behind her. She's just trying to keep her safe. How do you know her?
Fire tavern. The mother. She has passed. I try save. I try save. I try. Amelia not there. Taken. By man. Pale skin, black hair, black clothes, black hat, red feather.
Are you talking about the gentleman that dropped off the child?
I don't
She was
know.
dropped. The gentleman that who you're calling Amelia, he dropped her off a few days ago.
He take. He started. They say he start fire. I try save. She
Oh,
looks
he?
at Amelia and like Cricket's crying. I'm about to cry too. I can't leave. She looks at the group. So she's safe.
The gentleman that dropped off
Shit, it's actually making me emotional.
the gentleman that dropped off Amelia, he tended to her wounds. In all honesty, she'd be in a lot more shape if he hadn't tended to them.
But he did that.
All he
Why?
ever said when he dropped her off is he said, "I'm sorry."
Why run? Why
He never,
run?
he never said why. Eliza knows he headed west.
West.
He said he was just going to head west. He never gave a specific direction.
Town. City.
least
West.
where?
What's west?
There's a lot of things west.
First thing.
I mean, there's a village called Aerith. It's about a week's travel from here. The hills of Ghidorah are just past it. If you keep going west, you'll run into East Hollow, followed by Landcrest.
Help her. But
I'm
her
sorry.
mom.
If it's any consideration, she'll be okay here.
Promise.
Promise.
She clutches the burnt doll. Family is very important. I'm
And it is.
sorry, Amelia. She hands the doll.
Mia
I
just kind
try.
of bends around, kind of like looks around Luna and just kind of grabs the doll. She just looks at it and just kind of holds it.
And she bends down to Amelia and strokes her cheek with a freckle. You didn't deserve. He loved you. He loved you a lot. I could tell. I know those things. And she's gonna say in her mother's voice, tell Amelia that I love her so much. last words. I remember it for you.
As
And
you
she
say that,
turns. Cricket gets up, trying to contain herself as I try to contain myself. Just stroking her
as,
hair.
as you kind of say this, Amelia actually kind of like backs away, just like kind of like looking at the doll. You can see tears kind of formed at the corners of her eyes and begin to fall. She just wanders off with the doll and just kind of like sits up against the fence in the back end. Just stares at it. Miss Luna, who's just kind of watching Amelia, just turns to you there quick and she goes, I think she'll be okay in due time. I promise you we'll take care of her. If there's anything I can do, just let us know. I'll do what I can. When it comes to the gentleman, as far as I know, he was headed west. He never said any specific village or town or city that he was headed. He just said he was going west.
Did he have a name?
Not the one that I'm aware of. He kept that rather quiet. I even asked. That's why I was actually hesitant at first on taking in the child. It just was a rather very bizarre situation. A gentleman dropping off a burnt child who the only thing he would say is, I'm sorry. I am incredibly sorry. And then I asked him what his name was. He wouldn't answer. And I asked, well, if I need to get in touch, where are you headed? He just said west.
Cricket's gonna walk up to the girl and she's gonna take off one of her favorite bracelets, which is one of her turquoise bracelets. And is going to hand it to her.
Luna, just you handed that to Luna, correct?
No, Amelia.
Amelia?
Walk up.
Like, as like you kind of like hand this, she just kind of like barely raises her right hand and grabs it. She's just continually looking at the doll. You can tell she's not handling it well.
Yeah, she's going to still hold her little hand. Hope, turquoise, hope, tranquility, good fortune. And she's gonna put her forehead to it. You okay? Alright.
Just continually stares at the doll. She doesn't care to really acknowledge at this point. Luna just kind of walks out to you and just kind of like whispers in your ear. Whispers in Cricket's ear. She just needs some time as she just kind of pulls Cricket back. Tathil is just kind of like standing back. I take it you guys didn't go over the fence, correct?
I stayed on the outside of the fence, but I had moved up to the
Listen,
outside of the fence.
I would say that you guys could hear some of that conversation going on with these, which Tathil is just it's gonna go. There's a lot of things west. That's not a good direction to give. Question is, why would one say sorry if they started it? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, Given.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, no, don't. I love it. It's just, oh my god.
Right in the heartstrings.
The things that make
Mm.
me cry in movies is not because of really the characters, is because I will replace those characters with people I care about in real life. Which my brain did that, and I was like, shit. Shit.
Yeah. Catholic just goes, are we going to chase after this individual?
And by the sound of it, west was the direction you wanted to head anyway. Yeah?
South is Isatol.
South is east.
West. South is Isatol. Well, southwest-ish. Southeast is Aston. Southwest is Isatol, and straight west is Landcrest.
Cricket's gonna walk up and just put her
Cricket.
hand on Emerald's shoulder. It's fine. We need to focus on Shiva.
We're not even sure if we need to focus on that.
I remember.
Really comes down to our conversation with Mudrik.
Research. Balance. I'm happy to know that she's in with others.
Amelia will be safe. That is without a doubt. And in Creighton, with Mudrik kind of being the advisor, it seems like they usually keep things under control. If there's any positive outlet, you at least made the place safer for her. By dealing with certain things
Thank
around
you.
here.
Thank you. That makes me happy.
As
You
you
want to put a smile on all these children's faces? Cricket.
Yes, but sadness is always a great emotion to always feel at times. It's appropriate. It's just unfortunate. But yes,
Emerald is going to do his best to climb up and sit on the fence.
okay?
what are you doing?
I will, as I'm by the fence, I will offer an arm to help him balance.
I have faith in Emerald.
Me too. That was surprisingly good athletics check, just in case you wanted one.
Nah, it's
And
climbing a fence. It's not climbing a mountain.
I'm just gonna start busting out music with the lyre. Just
Okay, now that I'm going to need a performance check.
you can gladly have one. $24.
What are you playing by chance?
Something jovial.
Okay.
If anyone knows Dwarvish, it's all in Dwarvish.
Duck goose.
But, just trying to give the kids something fun to enjoy and listen to after a little bit of quick chaos.
The kids, like upon like hearing the music, just automatically kind of like erupt in a little dance for themselves. You know how kids are when like do that, almost no rhythm at all, really, just kind of like having a ball.
I believe the term is boltering.
Learn something new every day.
Hold on.
You also achieved putting a smile, or yeah, a smile on Cricket's face as best as she can with having a beak. Her cheeks get all puffy and her feathers get all puffy.
The definition of balter is to dance or tread clumsily.
Yes, bolter.
Mhm.
And as they do, I say take a few minutes to do this.
Yeah, just, a couple songs.
Cricket's tail is
As
doing the happy wag, the happy little raven wag.
as you guys kind
Cricket
of like,
seemed very somber coming back to us, so just kind of trying to cheer her up and at the same time try and cheer up the area.
as you guys kind of like finish putting on a little show for the kids. Tathil just says, well, it is getting late morning. We might as well head out. He just kind of begins also making his way towards Mudrix, towards the citadel of the town. As y'all are leaving Cricket, I'd say you would take kind of a look back towards Amelia real quick.
Yeah.
Like as you do from the song, you can just kind of see a small smile kind of form before it just kind of resides back to a solemn look.
Cricket's gonna, when Emerald gets back, run up and give him a big squeeze. Then lets him go and continues with the group.
You guys make your way towards Advisor Mudrik's office. 1 second. Cat. Yeah. We were graced by the presence of Noah. Sorry. As you guys make y'all's way towards Mudrik's office of the Citadel, there's quite a few hustle and bustle of people kind of like going to and from essentially for the day. You see town guards and military personnel just kind of like leaving, getting ready for their shifts. As you guys kind of like go inside this just elaborate it's almost kind of like a fortress to a certain extent. The ground is made of stone. On the left-hand side, as y'all just enter on the left-hand side, there's a doorway with metal bars and supporting it. And then on the right is another. But as you can continue, you can instantly see an opening. On the left-hand side, you just see kind of like benches to a certain extent for people to like sit on either side. And there's on the far end, left-hand side of this opening area, you see this individual just kind of like sitting behind a counter. This wall is angled. As y'all walk up, the person is rather short in stature, with thinning gray hair, and he's just kind of sealing paperwork as he just kind of like looks up at y'all as y'all kind of like come in. He's like, "Yes." Advisor Murdrick, do you have? So you're having an appointment. Coming. Give me a second. And he just kind of like gets down. Like as soon as he's down, he like completely disappears behind this counter, and you'll just hear the feet shuffling along as he opens the door. As he opens the door and kind of like begins making way his down this hallway that's in this opening and everything. He's just like, right, you can come with me. I'll take you to his office. It's not too far. You just kind of making his way, and then on the right hand side is a door. And they just goes, Advisor Modric, you have a couple of visitors. 5 to be exact, actually. He just kind of opens the door, and inside is Advisor Mudrik, who's just kind of like sitting at his desk with a quill and paper and parchment. He's just kind of writing stuff. And he's like, I didn't expect y'all to be here so early. I'm just now finishing up y'all's receipts for the work that y'all done to get the gold that y'all rightfully deserved. He just kind of waves to the clerk that has shown y'all's way there, and he just clerk kind of like leaves and everything back to where he was. He's like, y'all come in, come in. So, are y'all leaving town today, or are y'all staying for another evening? Ooh. Yeah, that's actually becoming a slight problem for us. We're hopefully going to be remedying that in due time, though it won't be quick. Be about 6 months. But in the process, that is true. That's actually one of the reasons we actually sent Stormspell to Isatol. There's a couple of reasons why, but that was one. We wanted to get funding from a nearby city and any documents, books, or research materials that he could get his hands on and bring to here to start. But if I'm not mistaken, I did promise you all 100 gold. She just kind of like, at this point, like he had actually got up and gotten around his desk, and he just turns around and grabs a parchment. He's like, the clerk, although at the one that y'all just spoke to may seem unfriendly, he's not bad. But just show him this, and he will give y'all 100 gold each that y'all rightfully earned.
Anything on those maps?
He just hears Stalker and you both kind of like talk at the exact same time. He's like,
Anything on those maps?
yes, actually. He kind of like wanders off to the right hand side of his office, and he kind of pulls a couple of parchments out, and kind of brings them over to you and just kind of like lays them out. You see maps of not only the continent that you guys are on, which you've like upon looking at it, pretty sure would just not be familiar with at all. You see the entire region of the Ashland Kingdom, and then also bits and pieces of the swamps of Morgana. Neither one of which had the Aowen Woods on it. He's like, you can take these if you wish, but they don't have the place that you were looking for on them.
Well, these are the surrounding areas around here.
There is a kingdom further east of us by the name of Kolvik. We don't have a lot of information just past the river on said kingdom. We're actually say enemies of that. We get spies in there, but when it comes to detailed maps, and he just kind of like wanders over and grabs another, he folds out. It's essentially like a blank land canvas with like locations of towns and everything, but no like identifiable like markings of any major how should I say noteworthy. You know what I'm saying? And he's just like, when it comes to getting any information on that particular kingdom, it's rough. The Azure dynasty is to the far north. which he grabs another parchment. He's like, I folds it out, which as soon as he shows you the map there, feed, I'm pretty sure you're kind of like looking over as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm looking at these.
Like as is like kind of like showing the Ashtar Dynasty one, it looks actually pretty good for the most part, minus a couple of things. Like there's a couple of temples that are on there that you're like, yeah, they're a little bit more like you could instantly just point out that they're supposed to be like either further to the east than what they are in the lands, or slightly to the west or south in a general direction. And it's like there's the Ashtar Dynasty to our north. They're relatively good allies of ours. At least they allow us to pass through. When it comes to Kolvik, like I said, they're enemies, and then the Vamorian Empire, that's a whole nother matter.
All right.
It's one thing to cross a river to the Kolvik Kingdom, it's another to pass through the swamps of Morgana to the Vamorian Empire.
What direction was these swamps of Morgana?
Swamps of Morgana are to the far west. Very far west. For you guys, it would be almost a month's travel.
She'll roll up the maps provided to her and tuck them in her bag.
You can take these as well. He kind of like hands you the Kolvik and the Ashjar Dynasty map as well. It's like, you can take these with you as well. I don't mind. I've got spares.
Cricket wants to hold one of them.
Y'all are wanting to research more into the matters of what happened in the town. What for?
Investigation.
Well, I figured that as such. Are there certain loose ties into the investigation? I thought Kilveth was the only one.
Kind of looks over to Fida. Sees if Fida says anything before Emerald pipes up.
I'm an archaeologist, and this is what I study. What is the source of this? So I wish to know more.
All right. That's understandable. Where do y'all plan on heading to do more research on the matter?
I'd considered Isatol, as there's the library there.
That there is. Warvac Stormspell, our town wizard, is also there. He's going to be there for another month. So, and it's only 2 weeks travel from here. So if y'all want to actually meet up with Stormspell, that'd be no issue. I can give y'all a letter before y'all leave.
That would be a good thing, yes.
He says, "All right, give me 2 seconds." He like kind of like turns around real quick and grabs like a small piece of parchment and just dips the quill and just quickly writes a note and puts it into an envelope and just stamps it really quick and just kind of like hands it to you there, Fida. And he's just like, "This will give you the opportunity to speak with Stormspell, wherever he's at in Isatol. If I'm not mistaken, he's been hanging around the town square or the city square there. It's a rather large city, so you're gonna want to need this, and I recommend upon arriving there to get a map of the actual city."
Yes, that would definitely be beneficial.
But I wish I could actually offer y'all more, but I'm just the advisor for Creighton. I can do only so much. But we really do appreciate the work that y'all done. Yes, Cricket?
We adjust guard etiquette.
That we can work on. For sure. I was hoping that Rhea Ravenwood would have actually stayed, considering we offered an advisory position for the actual Talon's Guard, but She says she would rather travel.
So she's been by this morning.
That was actually what I found out yesterday. I talked with her, remember?
Ah,
Actually, told you all that last night.
It was a very
Mhm.
long day yesterday.
I bet, in all honesty, if I'm not mistaken, Cricket, you didn't look so good. Seemed better today, though.
Oh, really?
Just a bit.
Oh. No. She breathes and she poops up again. Oh.
If there's
Thank
anything
you.
y'all actually need of me, just you can write while on your travels or swing by Creighton. Be more than welcome. We'll actually pay for your lodging while you're here.
Thank you, that is gracious.
On the house.
Yes, on the house.
On the house. On the house.
And they'll just kind of gonna like smirk and just hand Cricket an egg. But if y'all head to East Atoll, what path are y'all looking to take? Are y'all just gonna pass south through Aston, then cut southwest, or y'all gonna just kind of cut southwest and bypass the town of or the village of Aerith?
I think we would take a look at a map and see, like to visualize what our options are. I haven't seen a map myself yet of the area, of that part of the area.
Right. Well, if I'm not mistaken, the region map that I gave you should suffice in doing such things. There, Stalker.
Shows it to be
Open my map. What map did you hand me?
probably the Kolvik one.
Did you say you opened the Kolvik one there, Stalker?
Cricket has the Kolvik one.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Just staring at the Kolvik one, just like, where are we?
Stalker's just holding the map up. Emerald's kind of like,
Oh, she's holding it over so that Fia and everyone can see it.
trying to see.
Popping.
Crying.
So, Cricket, on this map, do you want to know where we are? I'm pointing to the map, like on the map that she's holding.
Yes.
We're about 2 pages over on this one over here. And I point to the other map.
Oh,
This one's far away.
Stalker, you had me wrong. Starts slapping Stalker with the map. Puts it
Roger
on
Stalker.
desk.
He was just shaking his head and walking back around to his desk and sitting. Cathel just kind of like looks at the map with you guys and he's just like,
I'm going to point to Creighton on it, and I'm going to point to East Atoll, and just kind of draw the different paths that we can take through to it. What does it look like the time differences on the to travel?
so I've got the map up for you guys in roll 20, just letting you know.
Oh,
Oh, thank you.
I
Yeah.
should probably pull that up.
Oh my god, Jimmy.
Listen.
Don't
So,
need to see things.
Yeah, theater
Right?
of mind.
Theater of the mind.
so as y'all are looking at Creighton, which is
Oh, I've been spelling it wrong in my notes the
For-
whole time.
for the Ashland Kingdom region, there's a river that separates it from the mountain range right at the mouth or the starting point of the actual river. There's a mountain range that just kind of like wraps up and then goes in towards the Ashlar dynasty. But this river separates both the Ashland Kingdom and Kolvik. And as you can see on the map, Aston is just on the bank of what appears to be the river, with Creighton just being to the north and slightly west, which would make Aston southeast. And as you can look, there's a range of hills just to the west of Creighton, with Aerith kind of like being in the center on the east bank of those hills, or the east base of those hills. And you can tell that there is about a week's travel to Aerith, a small village. And then a week's travel to Isatol. Shockingly enough, though, as y'all are like kind of like measuring the distance and everything when it comes to Aston, Aston's actually a few days less travel than Aerith, where Aerith is like 6 days. Aston is only 4 to 5, give or take. But then that extra distance adds on when you're trying to go from Aston to Isatol. But there's an open field area between Aerith and Isatol, and then between Aston and Isatol, there's some forestry region separating the two, just a little bit, not a whole lot. There seems to be a village in between those two cities called Stonewall.
Jackson.
Get out of my brain.
Athel just kind of goes, we've got quite a bit of options if we want to hit Aston first. We can. If we want to cut to Aerith and then go straight south towards Eastall, we can do that as well. I mean, if we decide to do that, we can at least check in and see if the man continued west that Cricket was looking for.
What about this other path up here to Dalhurst, is it? It looks like there's another path straight south from there to Isatol. And that is due west.
That look long.
It would be a few extra days. Probably an extra week.
That would easily be a 3-week trek. I mean, Dalhurst is... That's probably 9 days travel, and then going straight south, that's another 9. So yeah, almost 3 weeks.
If we're trying to catch Stormspell before they leave, we should probably
long.
take a faster route.
Mm-hmm.
Do not worry about me. Okay.
Watch for him too, Cricket. But yes, you are correct. Emerald. We should get to Isatol faster.
So then cut to Aerith it is.
That's
Seems
decided.
Aerith would be going the most direct path. I'm all for hitting up the extra towns. I'd love to explore a little bit more of this area, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Easton.
what? The only thing that we're trying to hit up Stormspell with is just to kind of help us in our gathering research on on Shiva herself. But if Isatol's going to grant enough library, I don't see why we necessarily need to speak with them directly.
well, if he's been spending time in the library, it doesn't hurt to have someone who knows their way around, if you will.
Sure.
Wait.
And if anything,
You say Stormspell? Study Shiva?
not necessarily study her, he just may know something about her.
Oh. So not now.
Right.
Insight check. Is he telling the
On-
truth? That's what
On Tanithil?
Oh, that Tanta? I thought that was Mudrik.
No, I'll let
Oh, sorry.
Mudrik stay out of this conversation. I was trying to use
Oh, I thought that
Tanithil.
was Mudrik. Sorry, I was like, Stormspell studying Shiva now when he's been gone before this happened.
Insight
Excuse
check,
me.
egg boy.
Yeah.
Are those eggs that you're really eating?
Or are those tumors or something?
Oh God.
That took a turn.
I don't know what
Oh,
this
rather
else
quickly
is.
too.
Right. That's it. Tathel just goes. He may know something. We're not sure.
Okay.
So, how about
so
this?
Are we going directly through, straightest path, which would be Aerith? Or do you guys want to see what the other towns have on the way, doing Aston Stonewall to Eastall.
I mean, in all honesty, if we do actually book it, we can make it to East Atoll in a relatively decent amount of time, even if we go straight west and cut south.
Well,
Easton did look interesting. I saw it when I was on my way landing in Creighton.
I'm on my way. Mhm.
If you're talking about a war-torn city being interesting, yes.
Aston!
Where's your sense of adventure? I think
Aston!
Aston would be interesting as well.
Big!
Sounds like most of us are desiring Aston then.
I guess it's Aston. Head south. We can hit Aston, then we can cut through Stonewall. We can get to East Atoll.
Then
Alrighty.
it's decided. She'll roll up the map. Put it away.
And with that, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in 10 minutes, roughly. So, see you in a bit, guys. We're back! Sorry. Just had to.
Um,
Sorry. Alright, so you guys basically kind of like, alright, we're gonna go to Ace, and Tanthil is like at this point just like, alright, not the most direct route, but I'm all for it.
Let's just go on the adventure. Who knows
I'm
what
all
we'll
for it.
find there.
Let's go for it. Moodrake's just kind of like, don't forget to make sure you grab your gold on them when you guys go to leave.
Holds up voucher. I will not.
He just kind of goes back to,
no, go.
yes, Cricket.
No, sorry. Travel. What? What are we packing?
Your belongings.
Okay.
Tanthil just kind of like
Sounds
coming
easy.
over, lean over Fida and just go, I don't know if Cricket's got belongings.
We'll deal with that outside of this office. It's not the conversation we need to have with Mootry.
Tanthil's goes kind of like squeeze by everybody and just kind of like make his way out towards the clerk's office, who's currently back stamping letters again as you guys are kind of like walking back up. He's just like, yes, what is John needs something?
Huh?
I get that to you right away. He just
Wait,
kind of
what?
instantly like gets down, lays, and you just hear just like him walking off a little bit. The footsteps fade. Tanthil's like, could you wait it 2 seconds as you kind of like walk up behind you there, Emerald? I'd handed mine with him as well.
He'll get his exercise today.
Yeah, considering Fida, Cricket, and Stalker aren't with us either. After a few minutes,
I
the,
figured everyone was with me when I walked up, so it was like
Oh,
a
yeah.
stack of them.
I didn't hear, so I went for the
Okay.
opportunity.
No, we went with them.
Okay. Well, the clerk gets back as he's just like kind of like bringing
So
the
it would have
gold.
been
And just kind of
like
like
a handful of papers.
right, but he just kind of like sets the gold on top, and he's just like, as everyone else has like their papers like kind of like put together with Tanthil's and Tanthil hands. He's like, we're getting paid as well. Clerk just looks at Tanthil and then turns to Emerald and he just goes, are they with you?
In a sense, we are our own people, though.
And you couldn't just hand those all at once?
Apparently not.
Do you not? And he just like kind of like begins climbing up on the table. He's just like, do you not see how tall?
We could have sent you
I'll
one
be
at
right
a time.
I'll be right back. Just like gets down. And like as he like gets down, y'all hear from overside the counter. Is this in separate bags or one?
Separate.
Separate, please.
One? Oh.
One or separate?
Separate, please.
Okay. He just begins kind of like making his way back and he just shuffling disappears. He's gone for about 5-10 minutes. When y'all just hear just clunk, 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 just being dragged back.
Maybe we should have sent you one at a time.
He's just like, as like he gets back, he's just like, eh. And he's just like lifting these coin bags up and on top of the thing. All together, all of them are about half his size. Easily. And they weigh probably just as much. I hope you don't mind. I made it all in silver. So you had to carry the burden as well. Now, good day. And he just like gets back to like stamping.
Clarification question.
What's up?
Does that mean mine was not in silver because that was
Right.
before he was pissed?
Right.
Cool.
Yours is in 100 gold. Theirs is in 1,000 silver.
Makes no difference to Saphira.
Saphira, the 8-foot tall giant.
Mm-hmm.
That can lift 1,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Cricket
Yeah,
holds
I
the bag
hate you.
overhead.
Tanthil is just like, I think we may
Ayana,
want to.
Fida has received a singular boon and a singular ban.
It starts.
It starts.
It starts. I will remember this.
Ooh,
So-
and a hydrate.
And a hydrate. So
Thank you.
as you guys kind of like grab y'all's coin bags and everything, Tathil's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and be the one to say it. A coin bag of holding would not be a bad idea to have.
I agree, but little one across the desk there, how would you feel if I had to talk to Mudrik about this?
About what? A coin bag of holding?
No, about the 1,000 silver coins that you're dropping on me instead of 100 gold. I realize it's the same value, but it really is inconvenient, you know? Especially
it said
because of how
Anatole.
much. I'm talking to the little guy across the desk.
I paid you your money.
Yes,
He's just
but
swinging the big
how-
bag around.
Cool.
Why are you inconveniencing us after we helped you?
You inconvenienced me. I am working, and you're like, hey, one at a time.
We could have left the demon to run around the town killing people.
Okay, how about this? How about this? Your friend speaks of a coin bag of holding. I'll get you one.
That would be wonderful.
All right. And he just kind of like gets down. He's your footsteps. Comes back. He hands you a coin bag of holding. He's like, there you go. Enough to hold all your coinage.
Fantastic. And then I'm going to go off to go talk to Mudrik.
Damn.
Whoosh. Whoosh. Whoosh.
And it's like you kind of like go back to Mudrik's office. The clerk is just like, where's she going? I gave her a...
Bathroom.
Close the door.
I didn't necessarily have the right to do that. Yeah. Like as like you kind of like open Mudrik's door, he's just kind of like doing some more paperwork. He's like, yes, Vita?
Might
She
I speak
walks
with you
quick
for a
if
moment?
You want to catch her.
Just in
Yes,
private.
Vita? Just in private?
Yes, please.
Close the door.
Thank you. I saw something earlier today, and it's been weighing on me.
Okay.
There is an orphanage local here in the town.
Yes.
Is there anything you can do to just make sure that the children there get a good education? Some of them have had a very hard time.
I don't see why not. I mean, we provide food and clothing for them. We do weekly drops. I know that from what I've been told, there was one kid who recently dropped there. She's currently wearing not the greatest of clothes. We plan to actually bring her some stuff later tomorrow.
Is there anything that can be done to help heal her? She has no voice. It seems Cricket knows of her. She had the girl had burns on her.
From what I know when it comes to magical healing abilities, if sometimes at the time between when the injury took place and when it is healed, the damage is done in that aspect.
Understood. It's Cricket, it seems, knew something about like the fire and was very, very upset. And Actually, she recognized the child. At least enough that now the town here can find out the child's name. The little
And
girl's name is Amelia. When we met Cricket, Cricket also had all sorts of burns all over her arm. I can only assume it was from the same fire. But I think something terrible happened there.
Does Cricket know in the direction the fire was?
No, I don't know. This is the first I heard of it. But
May I speak with Cricket on the map?
if you wish to, but just please, if you can do something to help that girl and help the orphanage a little bit more.
No problem. We have no issues beginning an education process for the kids there.
Thank you. The other side of it is leave your clerk wondering what it is that we spoke about. Don't tell her. Have some fun. Just play along.
Should I be worried?
Nah, I'm just having some fun with him.
All right.
He made sure we had a lot of extra coin weight for our gold.
How much extra?
Well, 1,000 silver coins is 100 gold. That much. Don't worry about it.
Can I speak to Cricket?
You can.
When you go out
Okay.
there, speaking of Cricket, she is chasing Stalker with the giant bag of silver trying to hit her.
It is a game in both of their eyes.
Yeah.
Roll
Just spinning around.
a.
Whoosh, whoosh,
I'm
whoosh.
gonna have you roll a